All right, good afternoon. Good. How about you guys? Nice.
Coach, what has stood out to you about their offensive line? They've allowed a lot of sacks over the first 3 games.
Well, they're still growing, and obviously, again, that sometimes that's the way this league works, and they're working together. They're working to jail, and like I said, we're not expecting anything but a formidable opponent when they come out here, and that's all we expect. So that's why our focus is never going to be on the opponent. It's always going to be on us. It's always going to be about our level of execution.
How did you see what happened in Nashville?
Well, I thought it was a tale of two halves, and we have to make sure we do a much better job of just maintaining our focus and discipline throughout the whole entire football game.
Do you feel fatigue was a factor for some of those mistakes? Not an excuse, but a factor.
It's just an excuse. By this time, it's just an excuse. You know, it's regardless of how we feel, that's the difference between a professional and an amateur. The professional, it doesn't matter how you feel. You still got a job to go out there and do.
I mean, it's been a few big plays, obviously, the last couple of weeks. I mean, is there any common theme to those that's got to get cleaned up?
Yeah, it's just humbling. It's humbling because they're uncommon. And it's something to where, yeah, historically they're uncommon, but it has happened before in the past. But like I said, it's time to hit the reset button, you know, and we're done with that. And we recognize the things that happened out there on the field, and we know where we need to get better, and we're just looking forward to getting back out there and competing again.
Earl was on the injury report. Is that a concern at all, or is that whether he can play Sunday? Or
here's the one thing I know about Earl: as long as he doesn't have any broken bones and he can breathe, he can play. So, yeah, right now it's not a concern. He's still preparing as if he's going to play, and we fully expect him to.
Michael Will Hood started a couple games after you guys, veteran guy coming in. What did you see that against?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a veteran guy who understands. I appreciate you. Thank you. Who understands again what we need of him. He's sharp. He's he plays with power. He's got pop in his take on, and like I said, he fits our profile. So it's just fun to watch him play and to have him out there being a part of this.
Frank Gore, what do you see from him at 34 years old?
Yeah, he still got it. You know, he still has his burst. He's still very effective running in between the tackles. That's what he prefers. That's always been his style. Again, a couple of cuts, stick his foot in the ground and try to get as much as he can. So he still has that explosive nature. He still runs with power and good pad level. So, yeah, he's still a really good back.
Were you teammates with him briefly?
Briefly, yeah, another one, huh? Yeah, no question. Yeah, briefly. The guy loved football. I think that's the one thing that stood out about him. It wasn't a time to where, and yeah, maybe it's cliche, you know, running back always holding on to a ball, but he always had a ball. You know, so it's like, yeah, that you could tell guys who really love football. You know, here it is, a running back who always has a ball. So that's the one thing that stood out about him.
And over the years, I mean, what kind of challenge has that been going up against him? You guys obviously have a lot of familiarity with him from his San Francisco days.
It's just been his consistency. He's always been a special back in this league in regards to his style. Again, being a slither type of runner, again, who can get in between the seams of guys. It doesn't matter if you have your gap, you can still find a way to squirt through gaps and things of that nature, and that's what made him special. You know, he's always been a tenacious back who's been very consistent.
Jacoby Brissett, a pretty big guy, but pretty mobile, I guess, as well. Is he, that kind of mix of size and mobility kind of remind you of anybody else, or is that?
Well, he's got craftiness in the pocket, kind of in regards to his size. We know we're going to have to wrap up big guys of that nature. Again, by no means comparison, but in movement around the pocket, I guess the closest guy in regards to that would be Roethlisberger. You know, just a big guy who can find a way to maneuver around the pocket, and you know you're going to have to wrap him up in order to get him down.
How would you assess the way you guys have gone after the quarterback in the first 3 games?
Yeah, it's been we've taken full advantage of the opportunities that we've had. I said the ball's coming out fast. We recognize that. I think a lot of guys or a lot of teams are playing to that. You know, they want to get the ball out as fast as possible. So again, we just need to make sure that if that's going to be the case, then when we're coming off the ball, we got to get our hands up, you know, and that's going to be the next phase for our growth and development, is recognizing how teams are going to try to attack us with the quick game or things of that nature. So if that's going to be the case, we got to make sure we get our hands up.
Did you see that? I know that was the case in Green Bay in the second half, and then for San Francisco. Was that true of the Tennessee game?
Yes.
Anything else?
All right, thank you guys.